So you have probably just discovered virtual assistants and you want to become a full-time virtual assistant as a Nigerian. In that case, you are in the right place, because in this video I am going to teach you how you can start and become a full-time virtual assistant within the first 30 days or even less. Obviously, you are going to be a full-time virtual assistant when you reach your desired income goal, and the higher your income goal is, the more energy you need to put into this. So let's start with what exactly is a virtual assistant. Virtual assistant is an individual offering administrative support to clients remotely that include companies, organizations, and entrepreneurs. And instead of being in a physical location with your client or your employer, as a virtual assistant you are going to be working in a remote location, usually from your own home. I know a lot of people who are interested in becoming a virtual assistant, they get scared that they don't have the right skills to start offering as a virtual assistant. And in that case, I will say you don't understand virtual assistant very well. There are a lot of skills that you can offer as a virtual assistant. And virtual assistant is almost like an employee, like an administrative assistant in an office. The only difference is, as a virtual assistant, instead of working in an office with your employer, you are going to be working in your own home. So think of it as if a company hire you to be an administrative assistant. Is that a position that you can handle? If you can handle an administrative assistant position in any company, then you can become a virtual assistant. And one thing to keep in mind is, most of the clients who are looking for a virtual assistant, they are just looking for someone to save them time. Most of the clients who are looking for a virtual assistant are not necessarily looking for someone with advanced level of skills in some services. Usually what they are looking for is, they are just looking for someone who they can give the time-consuming tasks of their business so that they can focus on doing something else. And what services can you offer as a virtual assistant? There are a ton of services that you can offer as a virtual assistant, and most of those services doesn't require an expert. And some of the services include data entry, email management, scheduling, online bookings, scheduling appointment, website maintenance, email marketing. There are a lot of skills, and what you choose to offer are going to depend on your learning capability. And also remember this, is there anything in the world that you know how to do without learning? The answer is no. Whatever you know how to do, you have to learn how to do it. And that is the same with virtual assistant. Whatever service you choose to start offering as a virtual assistant, if you have the right skills, that's good. If you don't have the skills to do it, you can learn. So the very first step in becoming a virtual assistant is choose the services that you want to start offering as a virtual assistant. Okay, the next thing is, you need to learn. You just need to keep this in your mind. If you choose to become a virtual assistant, you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to keep developing your skills. And nowadays you can learn anything, almost anything you want to learn, you can learn on YouTube. I always say I learn 90% of the skills that I have, I learn on YouTube. So you can learn whatever you want to learn on YouTube. And you have to get comfortable with learning on YouTube. This is very important, because if you work as a virtual assistant, you are going to come across several new things on a continuous basis. So you have to get comfortable with, if you don't know how to do something, you have to go to YouTube, find tutorials, learn how to do it, learn how to do it on YouTube. And also in the case where you want to learn something and you cannot find a step-by-step guide on YouTube, you can simply go to Udemy. Udemy is an online course platform. You can find very cheap courses on Udemy. Almost anything you want to learn, you can find a cheap course on Udemy that is going to take you step by step on how to learn, and have at least a decent level of skill in whatever it is. So pick a service, learn at least a decent level of skill in order to deliver a good job on that service. And let's talk about, what do you need in order to start a virtual assistant? What do you need in order to become a virtual assistant? All you need in order to start virtual assistant is, you need access to computer and you need access to internet. Okay, when you have a computer, you have access to internet, you choose a service that you want to start selling, you learn at least a decent level of skill in that service. The next thing that you shall do is, you shall set up your profile in a freelancing platform. There are 3 major freelancing platforms. There are Upwork, Fiverr.com and Freelancer.com. I personally don't like Freelancer.com very much, so I recommend you either choose Upwork or Fiverr.com. And if you choose to use Upwork.com, I have a complete tutorial where I show a step-by-step guide on how you can create your profile on Upwork. I'm going to put a link to that tutorial in the description of this video, so you can watch that tutorial and learn how to create your freelancer profile on Upwork. Okay, the next thing that you shall do is, you shall learn how to create an attractive portfolio. Your portfolio is your personal showcase, is your storefront. Your portfolio is what your potential client are going to look at to evaluate your skills to determine whether they want to work with you or not. So it's very important you learn how to create an appealing and attractive portfolio. If you are a complete beginner to this, I also have a complete tutorial where I show how beginners can create an appealing portfolio. I am going to put a link to that tutorial in the description of this video, so you can watch that video and learn how to create an attractive portfolio for yourself. Okay, at this stage you choose the services that you want to start offering as a virtual assistant. You learn a decent level of skill in those services. You pick a freelancing platform, you set up your virtual assistant profile in that freelancing platform, and you create an attractive portfolio for yourself. The next step is learn how to write a winning proposal. Your proposal is basically your cover letter. It's what you send to potential client when they post a project on a freelancing platform. And learning how to write a winning proposal is one of the key aspects of getting a job as a virtual assistant, because your proposal is your first line of communication between you and your potential client. Writing a winning proposal is what will even interest your potential client in checking out your portfolio. So your proposal is going to determine whether you hear back from your potential client after you send them a proposal or not. If you are not hearing back from your potential client, that means you either need to work on your proposal or you need to work on your portfolio. I also have a tutorial where I show how you can write a winning proposal as a new freelancer. I am going to put a link to that tutorial in the description of this video, so you can watch that video and learn how to write a winning proposal as a new virtual assistant. Okay, the next step is learn how to apply for jobs the right way. If you don't know how to apply for jobs the right way, it doesn't matter if you send proposals to 100 jobs or if you send your proposal to 1,000 jobs, you are not going to get the job if you don't know how to apply for jobs the right way. And how can you apply for jobs the right way? The first step is make sure before you send your proposal, before you apply to any job, you read the job description carefully and completely and understand the job requirement, because this is what will enable you to write a winning proposal. And the very first step is before you send your proposal, make sure you meet the job requirement. For example, a client might say they are looking for a freelancer for a virtual assistant who speak English and Spanish, who speak Spanish and German, who speak Chinese, who speak all other languages. So if you send your proposal to a client who is looking for somebody who speaks Spanish and you only speak English, that means you just wasted your time. A client might also say they are looking for a virtual assistant only in specific countries. So if you are in another country and you send your proposal to a client who is looking for a virtual assistant in another country, you also wasted your time. And another way to apply for jobs the right way, look for clients who are looking for a beginner freelancer. If you are looking for client on Upwork, when a client posted a project, when a client posted a job on Upwork, they are going to specify whether they are looking for a beginner freelancer or they are looking for an intermediate freelancer, or if they are looking for an expert freelancer. So as a beginner to virtual assistants, you need to send your proposals to clients who are looking for a beginner virtual assistant, because that will increase your chances of getting the job. If you send your proposal to a client who is looking for an expert virtual assistant, you are going to be competing with expert virtual assistant, and your chances of getting the job is going to be way less. And when writing your proposal, you need to avoid writing a generic proposal. In your proposal, try to summarize the project just to show the potential client that you understand the requirement and that you read the job description carefully. Okay, at this stage, you choose the services that you want to start selling as a virtual assistant. You learn a decent level of skill in those services. You pick a freelancing platform. You set up your profile in a freelancing platform. You learn how to create an appealing and attractive portfolio. You also learn how to write a winning proposal. Okay, the next thing that will help you become a full-time virtual assistant in 30 days is to utilize other freelancing platforms. Don't just limit yourself to using only one platform. Like I said, there are 3 major freelancing platforms. There are Upwork, Fiverr, and Freelancer.com. Instead of only using Upwork, you can use Upwork and Fiverr. Instead of only using Fiverr, you can use Fiverr and Upwork. You can even try Freelancer.com and see if you like how it works. This is what is going to help you get client faster, get more client faster, and become a full-time virtual assistant faster. And one of the good things about being a virtual assistant is you just need a few clients in order to become a full-time virtual assistant. Because virtual assistant clients are going to hire you and pay you on a continuous basis. You can spend years working for one client. compared to if you just work as a freelancer. You are going to be working with different clients every single month. If you choose to become a virtual assistant, all you need to do is try to find 2 or 3 clients that are going to pay you enough to reach your income goals. And when you find those clients, you can work with them for years without thinking of finding another client. And this next and final tip is very important. It is crucial, in fact, in making you a full-time virtual assistant. And this tip is be willing to do whatever it takes to make this work. Be willing to put in the time in learning the skills, in developing the skills, in being really good at what you do. And be patient when you are sending proposals and you are not hearing back from your potential client, because this thing takes time to learn. If you are just starting out, you are definitely going to be making mistakes in the beginning, and you need to make those mistakes in order to identify the mistakes and not make the mistakes going forward. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video.